AEW starts off with Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. They finally have a match to finally start their feud. Towards the end, this match overall was whatever to me. I really didn't care too much about it. But towards the end of the match, Chris Jericho got like a roll of a roll of coins. He tried to hit him with it, but then Orange Cassidy ends up getting the roll of coins and ends up doing the orange punch with it and ends up picking up the victory. I'm gonna be honest, the ending didn't make sense because him using the orange punch with the roll of quarters or whatever, that doesn't make his punch more effective because he has the quarters inside of his hand while punching. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand. I don't think, maybe I'm tripping. You guys let me know if I'm tripping, but I don't feel like that would make his finisher more deadly in my opinion. But Orange Cassidy ends up picking the victory. I don't know what direction they go from here with this feud. I don't care too much about it, especially because I feel like this feud shouldn't really be happening. I did say last week I was somewhat interested in it, but I feel like after Chris Jericho already got paid, technically, he really doesn't have a reason to feud with him anymore, in my opinion. But we'll see where this goes. Now we end up getting a Blackpool Combat Club segment. Claudio and Pac basically want Willa Yuta to, come back and if he doesn't come back to Blackpool Combat Club, he at least will come for next week when they have their trios match. On John Moxley ends up coming in and Marina comes in, and John Moxley ends up saying that they're not forcing him to do anything. He's a grown man. He can make his own choice, but the time is ticking basically. After this, they end up showing Yuta getting interviewed, and he's still contemplating whether or not he wants to be a part of the group. But he ends up saying that he will be there next week to defend their AEW Trios Championships for a Grand Slam. So he will, but he said he will be there, which is kind of confusing what happens later because I thought their opponent for Grand Slam was, I don't even know who they're even facing for Grand Slam if I'm being honest. I don't even know if they're still having the match. But we'll see if Willa Yuta going to stay with Blackpool Combat Club or is he going to leave and ally himself with Bryan Danielson. Now we end up getting Serena, Mariah, Amina, and Yuka in a tag team match. I'm not going to speak too much on it. This match shouldn't even exist if I'm being honest. I know why it's happening. This all got set up on Collision, but this shouldn't even be happening if I'm being honest. There's no reason for Serena Deeb and Amina but also have Mariah. There's no reason because there's no correlation between all four women. Like it makes no sense to be honest with you. The match ended in disqualification with Mariah attacking Yuka with her championship. Then she got disqualified, of course. Then after the match, they end up having a little vignette segment with Mina. She starts talking about Mariah, and she ends up saying that she will ends up making a return very soon. So I'm assuming this is going to be her next rivalry. Please, can this be her next rivalry? Because man, Mariah May needs a rivalry, bro. Because no, like what they did with Yuka and that thing on Collision was just terrible. Made no sense. They need to do something. They need to look. I understand she's not gonna have like real rivalries, but man, you could easily just do the Toni Storm effect. Have her have a feud for like a good 3 weeks. Have her win. Give her a new opponent. Like they did that with Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa. Just do things like that. But man, hopefully Mina Shirakawa, this whole story that they're playing eventually leads to a turn between one of them and then they feud because she needs it bad. Mariah May needs a feud very badly because this was just pathetic. I don't know what they was thinking here. Next, we end up getting Blackpool Combat Club. They come out, but then Private Party ends up coming out into, well, they try to sneak attack them actually, and they end up attacking John Moxley and them, but they ended up basically getting destroyed. They wanted payback, but they failed miserably. Then Commander comes out of nowhere for whatever reason, tries to help them, but he ends up getting destroyed as well. And then towards the end of the beatdown, John Moxley ends up smashing Zay's hand. I think that's his name, Isaiah Zay, if I'm not mistaken. He smashed his hand with a hammer, so he's going to be injured. And I know they wanted a championship opportunity against Blackpool Combat Club. I don't know if that was supposed to be next week or the week after, but it looks like they're going to be off the shelf for a bit. Then Darby Allin ends up coming out to attack Claudio. Then John Moxley and Darby end up having a bit of a stare down. Darby tries to attack John, but he ends up rolling out the ring. This is to build up the match that they're going to have at Grand Slam, which is one of the few things I'm actually excited about because I actually feel like that could have some huge implications to the future of AEW. But this was overall a decent segment. Don't really care for Private Party. I know eventually they're going to try to get their payback. Don't really care, but Darby Allin and John Moxley, this could be really good. I think the feud can actually continue depending on how the match plays out as well. Now we end up getting Hangman. He ends up having a interview segment. Well, not really interview, more of a promo with Tony Schiavone. He starts mentioning, putting Swerve away, of course, the cage match. Mentions fans constantly cheering him. And then he starts mentioning people who were in support of Swerve Strickland. And then he starts mentioning the commentary team being in support of Swerve Strickland. He starts turning to Tony Schiavone. He's about to attack Tony Schiavone, but then Jeff Jarrett ends up coming out. He tries to go for an attack, but he ends up basically getting destroyed by Hangman Page. But then security ends up coming out to stop, and then Jeff Jarrett hops on a microphone and basically ends up saying that he's going to want payback and revenge on Hangman. I don't know where this is leading to. I don't know if this is going to... I highly doubt it goes to Grand Slam next week because I'm pretty sure it's not advertised. I don't know if this is going to go to Wrestle Dream either. So, yeah, I don't know where this story is heading. I know this is just a filler arc, most likely, because I know Jeff Jarrett, Hangman, they have their issues, but I know this is mainly filler until Swerve eventually comes back, whenever he does comes back. I'm not that interested. I'm interested in Hangman. I love Hangman. I'm not really interested in Jeff Jarrett at this stage. Yeah, I really just don't care, but I understand why this is happening nonetheless. Now, we end up getting a segment between Ricochet and Will Osprey, and they basically just confirmed that this match is happening on October 2nd, I cannot speak, for the AEW International Championship. I'm excited for the match, but I don't understand why. Like, okay, Ricochet has been on the roster for 1 month, and he only had about 3, maybe 4 matches. You're telling me 3 matches against, I guess, mid-card talent, I guess. Well, he had a match against Kyle Fletcher, I guess, so I guess that counts. But that's enough for an international championship match, and then we're just gonna push this match and rush it? Like, this is, like, really? Like, we're just gonna rush this match? Like, look, I'm not gonna tell Tony Khan what he should or shouldn't do, but I just feel like this is just rushed and don't make sense. Like, a match like this should have been built up. And I'm not saying they needed like an 8-month build up, but like, really though? Like, you really just wanted to do this like on a random episode of Dynamite, barely in the build up, and then Ricochet is barely established on the roster? Like, I feel like you could have just waited for this. You could have waited for this. I don't think you need to rush this, but I guess you guys let me know if I'm tripping, but I just feel like this is just way too soon in my opinion. Like, Will Ospreay is like the face of the company. Ricochet is like, he's just another guy right now. Like that, to be honest, he's just another guy on the roster. I'm just not understanding this. But tonight's show was just a show full of question marks in my opinion. Now we end up getting the main event, which I'm not going to talk about. It was Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay, Tenosuke Takeshita versus the Young Bucks and Okada in a trios match. Don Callis' family ends up picking up the victory. Not going to speak too much on it. This overall show was bad. Very boring, dull, lack of story. I already know all the AEW fanboys are going to probably attack me, even though I criticize WWE the same way when there's something I don't like about their show. But yeah, tonight's show was just not good. The build-up towards the Grand Slam was very questionable. This was not a good go-home show, the Grand Slam, at all. They still, wait, is this the go-home show? I'm not even sure this is even the go-home show. I might be tripping. But they still got questions to answer. They still got to question whether or not is Bryan Danielson even going to participate, even though we know he's going to participate at Grand Slam to face Nigel. Like, it's just all over the place. But overall, you guys let me know your opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.